Hey, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. So in this video, I'm actually speaking about script writing for a SaaS product video because script writing is one of the most essential parts of a product video. And that actually comes down to, will your product video generate income, revenue, ROI, or will your video actually just sit there, like type, right? Very important. So in this video, I actually laid down to 8 chapters where I speak about the fundamentals of script writing. Because I actually watched the SaaS product video the other day, that beautiful animation, great motion design, smooth transmissions, and I think probably expensive. But the 30 seconds in, I realized something. I still have absolutely no idea why I should care. And I think that's the biggest scripting mistake that SaaS could make. They think a product video is there to explain the product. I don't think so. I think there that's something to make somebody understand why the product matters. So those are completely different things. Because explaining is easy. Everybody can do it. You can do it, I can do it, somebody else that watches could do it. You can list futures, you can show dashboards, you can talk about integration, you can mention AI, but understanding is much harder. That's actually another level. Understanding means somebody actually finishes watching and thinking, oh yeah, I get it right now. So let me walk you through exactly how I think about scripting on a SaaS product video. Like I said, 8 chapters. Let's start with the first one. Start with the buyer, not the product. Actually, notice that almost every SaaS product video starts from the same perspective, the company's perspective. Our platform, our this, our workflow, our AI, and everything begins with the software. But buyers don't wake up thinking about your software, you guys. They're thinking about, this morning, tomorrow morning, or the inbox, deadlines, meetings, their team. That's where your script should start. Not inside the product, but inside the buyer's day. So you have to drag them into their world, their day. Right? So chapter two, chapter two is actually about make the buyer the hero. So whenever I actually write a script with a team, I imagine one person. Not 100, not 200, something like that, one person. It could be the product marketing manager. It could be the head of support. It could be the founder, the CEO. And I'm always, following someone because stories are easy to remember than interface. So let's imagine we're writing for a customer platform, like AI customer platform support, something like that. I could say, yeah, or AI automatically routes incoming tickets. That's technically correct. Or I could say instead of that, every morning your support team spends almost 2 hours deciding which ticket deserves attention before they've solved a single customer problem. It's exactly the same product, but completely different feeling. And the second version creates recognition. People immediately think, yeah, that's exactly what's happening here. Once they recognize themselves they're ready for a solution. Chapter 3. Problem, solution, outcome. I always script in the same order. Problem, solution, outcome, not futures. Futures live inside the solution. The problem creates attention. The solution creates curiosity and the outcome creates value, you guys. So a lot of SaaS videos jump straight into functionality. I think that's backwards. People need to understand why something exists before they care how it works. Chapter 4. Create curiosity. One thing I love doing is laying the answer. I say something like, support teams waste 8 hours every day, every week. It's very clear, right? Then I pause. Now the viewer wants to know why. Why do they spend 8 hours every week? That's exactly how a great speaker works. Good product videos shouldn't dump information. They should review information. So every new scene should answer one question. Well, create another one. And that keeps people watching. Chapter 5. translate futures into business value. So almost every future can be translated into something much easier to understand. Don't tell me automatic reporting. Tell me your marketing manager gets Monday mornings back. So don't tell me AI categorizes tickets. Tell me more. Tell me more like, one support agent suddenly handles 30% more requests. People remember outcomes, especially when those outcomes save time or generate income, money, or ROI, return on investment. Every future should answer one question: why should I care? Chapter 6 is about use storytelling techniques that change the dynamic of just a random story to a story that actually that gets buyers into your product video. So these are two storytelling techniques that are used common. The first one is contrast, before after, very simple. Before the product, sport teams sort tickets manually, for example. After the product, they're solving customer problems before coffee, for example. The second technique is following one character. So people don't imagine dashboards, they imagine themselves. So instead of explaining software, follow a person like Tom, follow a person like Isabel, follow the product manager, follow the support leads. Stories create memory. Futures lists don't. Chapter 7, don't show everything. One mistake I see a lot of times, trying to show every feature. Try to show analytics, reports, permissions, integrations, notifications. Too much information, guys. The buyer has no idea where to look, and every scene should communicate one idea, one workflow, one outcome. And if one scene tries to explain three things, rewrite it. Simple. Confusion compounds and clearly converts. So, chapter 8, the product isn't the hero. That's probably my biggest opinion. The product should never be the hero. What I mean by that, the buyer should. The software is simply the tool. It's like a mechanism, the catalyst that helps somebody becomes better at their job. That's why I don't script around functionality. I script around transformation. What becomes easier? What disappears? What gets faster? That's the real story right there. So I want to give you one example of a script. So I said in the beginning, let's, take for example, we write for AI customer support platform. Keep in mind, you guys, the average SaaS product video is probably around 1.5 minutes or 1 minute, and I always get like approximately, 30 seconds. That's around 130, between 130 and 150 words. So let's stick to that. 30 seconds, around 150 words. All right. Example. Every Monday morning, Isabel opens an inbox with more than 200 customer tickets. Before she helps a single customer, she already spent almost 1 hour deciding what deserves attention first. That's costing the team around 5 hours every single week. Now, imagine opening the same inbox and seeing every ticket already. Prioritize. Repetitive questions already answered and urgent conversations waiting at the top. Instead of organizing work, the team immediately starts solving problems. One support agent suddenly handles 30% more requests. Response time improves, and hiring another full-time employee is no longer the obvious solution. That's thousands of dollars wasted every month. More importantly, the team finally gets their mornings back. So, curious what that will look like inside your own support workflow? Let's take a look. So, what we did here, the techniques are actually integrated. So, one, buyer is the hero. Second one, problem first. Third one, open loop, right? We choose one workflow. We actually point out a financial outcome. So it saves money, hiring avoided. Also, an emotional outcome. So get your mornings back and a clear CTA in the sense of curious what that will look like inside your own support workflow. And this is actually literally the flame framework. I can show it on screen right now. It's problem, buyer, open loop, right? One workflow. Futures, that goes into business outcome, that goes into emotional outcome, and then ending with a clear CTA. So that's basically, guys, how to script a SaaS product video with the most important elements. So if you think about creating a SaaS product video for your SaaS company, product launch that you have coming up, or a current solution that you want to upgrade when it comes to communication, let's connect.